This one's from Joe saying, "Hi Damo, I'm a passionate songwriter, but my technical skills are quite limited as a musician. Should I put my energy into learning my instrument better or focus on songwriting with other musicians?"
So I would say, and this is not a cop-out answer, but definitely both. And the reason why I say both, and the reason why when we were talking before about questions, because we had quite a few questions this week, this one stuck out, is because I think patience and longevity is very, very important. And so what I see from quite a lot of musicians is this idea that we need to sort this out in the next 6 months. And that, for example, is a short-term view. So this is Joe. And when I think of this, the question, Joe, I'm thinking that what you're doing there is you're thinking in a short-term way instead of a long-term way. And thinking in a short-term way is, I'm going to have to learn the instrument, and at the same time then I've also got to do my own songwriting. Well, over the next 6 months, that's a pain in the ass. But depending on how old Joe is, but if Joe's in or just finished or recently in the last few years finished music college and you're under 30 years old and you're going to retire at the age of 70, that's 40 years. So you can definitely learn an instrument in 40 years, you know. So I would say you do need to do both. You definitely need to be working on your songwriting. You definitely need to be collabing. You definitely need to be learning about that songwriting. But at the same point, you can definitely get better, because when you sit there with a piano and you're collabing and you can say, look, I've got this idea, or you can pick up a guitar on top of that and just say, look, I've got this idea. You know, I would look at, you know, prioritizing is a big thing for me. You know, I really feel like musicians don't prioritize very, very well. So everybody wants to do a bit of everything. And when I very, very first started my first job, which was I started working teaching bass at the Academy for Contemporary Music. I was 19 years old. I had some great mentors. I started then managing a department, and the guy who owned the college just said, this is very simple. Only spend time doing the most important things. If you don't have to do it, don't do it. Do the thing which is more important, and always do the thing which is most important. And it was such an amazing bit of advice that I still stick to now, where I'm looking at the things and saying, what is the most important thing on my list of things to do? And so if that is the case, I would be looking at, depending if you want to learn piano or guitar or ukulele or lute, I don't know, whatever it's going to be, I'd go and find someone and I'd say, I need to learn fast. So I haven't got 5 hours a day to sit and practice. So in which case I need help. I need someone who's going to come in as a specialist and actually sit there. So I'm not sitting there figuring out, because, you know, for a lot of the people watching this, when you sit with guitar, the first year or so is just you sitting figuring stuff out and messing around and going, oh, that kind of work, I quite like that. And it's just, and then all of a sudden maybe you go to music college and maybe you get lessons. It's quite a slow burning process. Whereas once you get to a certain level as a musician, like I really want to learn to play piano. So, and I know that if I sit down with a piano teacher right now, my theory is good enough. If they say a C major chord, at least I'm going to go, yeah, I know what that is. I just need to know sort of how this stuff works, and I need to know how the technique goes, and I'll motor it. So I just don't want to be sitting there fiddling with it. I want someone to come along and say, what you need is blah 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 blah. So I would look at how we can do things fast. I would get yourself a teacher, whether it's a guitar teacher or piano teacher or whatever it is that you want, and just say, I need to learn the basics and I need to learn them fast, and give me a practice routine and then work on that. But it is a funny one, because if you're going to think about whether you should work on your songwriting skills or your instrument skills, it's thinking in a short-term way. And everybody watching, you have to think about, you are going to retire at, say, 70 years old. That, even if people are watching right now who are 60 years old, you've still got 10 years. You can learn another instrument at 60 and actually bring a really great aspect to your game. But most of the people who are watching this are between 18 and 30. So you've got 40 to 50 years. Yes! Like,
So much time.
So stop thinking in this. We've got to do it now. Got to do it now. Got to do it now. You want to work as hard and as fast as you possibly can, but also you want to be patient for the long-term game, knowing that in 30 years' time you are just adding to your game and you're getting more and more employable.
Yeah, I think also that takes some of the pressure off it as well, because even if you are working really fast, it doesn't mean that you have to get it straight away.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just feel, I wish, I mean, that's something I talk quite a lot with musicians, but musicians are the most impatient people. They want everything now. They just go, how do I play Wembley Stadium next week? And I'm like, well, playing Wembley Stadium is one thing, getting to next week is one thing, putting them together doesn't work. So, just a bit more thinking long-term and longevity, and you could definitely do both of those, even if one of them takes a priority, even if one of them is, I'm going to work on my songwriting, however, I'm going to spend an hour a day working on my guitar skills, acceptable.